Hey y'all. I don't know if I'm going to get ran off the porch in a few minutes or not, but there's a storm brewing. I've been listening to the thunder, and now I'm out here listening to my wind chimes, and they were so loud. I was partway through making this video, but they got so loud I had to move my chair away from them because they're really being blown. But anyway, I just wanted to sit down and visit for a few minutes. All of our visits have been walkabouts, and Chelsea and I have some new ideas on the horizon, and I wanted to throw them out there and just see what y'all are thinking. Sometimes we do tend to have more ideas than we have time and energy for, but this one actually makes me really, really excited. Let me just give you some backstory. Years ago, before Hugh and I met, and we'll be married 44 years in October, I had, let me straighten this up a little bit. It's just kind of side goggled, I think. That's better. Oh, our electricity just went off and on. And now the neighbor that's never at home, their alarm has just gone off. And it will take a little while before their alarm company turns it off. So I apologize. There will be an alarm going off in the background. So, oh well, it is what it is. But anyway, before Hugh and I met, I was on a trajectory of going to college for interior design. And I've always, as an artist, I guess, I've always loved creating beautiful spaces. I still enjoy that, but now my emphasis is on comfort and peace. I like peaceful spaces. So we haven't managed to create that yet since we've moved into this house just a couple of years ago. Life has been so busy that's just been on the back burner. That is my goal, though, for this winter. I'm hoping that this winter life will be slow enough that I can actually get my house painted, get my house put back together, and actually enjoy a peaceful atmosphere. Visually, I mean, it's peaceful here. That's not a problem. But visually, I would love. There's a saying. There's a term for it. It's called feng shui, and it's used in interior design. It's used in real estate. Everybody wants to create a visually peaceful place for living. So anyway, that kind of faded that off into the distance when Hugh and I got married. We almost immediately, within 2 years, we had Aaron, and then 5 years later we had Chelsea, and then 3 years after that we had Jared, and we started homeschooling, and our life was just there. They got it turned off. Yay. Just very, very child focused for many, many, many years. But at this point in life, I really don't have any interest in interior design for anyone other than myself. But the flowers, surfaced, and we are fully immersed in growing the cut flowers. That makes me just very happy, very tired. It's just both. But excuse me. But earlier this week, today's Wednesday, so I guess about Sunday, my mind hopped onto something as I was watching one of the many flower farming videos that I watch. I have probably 6 or 7 content creators that I watch on a regular basis that are inspiring and very full of wonderful information that has helped me tremendously. But one young man, he's Oriental. I'm trying to think of his YouTube channel, and I can't think of the name of it right offhand, but he's just a tad hard to I saw some lightning back there, just a tad hard to understand because he does have a pretty strong my doggies accent, but I love watching him because he creates some of the most beautiful, beautiful bouquets I've ever seen. And as I was watching him, the thought occurred to me that I would love to just have the ability and the time to create bouquets like that. They're just phenomenal. And then I got the idea that, well, maybe that's something that I need to find a good program for, classes and whatnot, and take the classes to learn to actually put together bouquets that are just eye-catching and just so wonderful. And then the idea came that wouldn't that be such a wonderful way to use our flowers, especially as we become a little bit more I don't know what the word is, unique with flowers like the Lysianthus, and not that other growers don't grow these things. The Lysianthus and the ranunculus and the anemones and the peonies, all those flowers that are used more for events and weddings and things of that nature. And then the idea came that, hey, if I took those classes and I learned to use those flowers in arrangements like that, what would prevent us from becoming farmer florists? And there are quite a few. If you Google online, if you look online, there are quite a few growers that actually branch out into floral design. So we're getting ready. We won't until this winter, but we're getting ready to rebrand ourselves as Phoenix Acres Farm, Cut Flowers, and Floral Design. Now, I know we just keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and but we are beginning. Now, I will set your mind at rest because I know some of you, have voiced concern about me not getting enough rest. Well, like my brother always said, well, I can rest when I die. So he's a smart aleck like that. But the idea is that we are beginning to get a rhythm within this business. We are beginning to just cut 3 days a week. We're cutting Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So today was a what we call a hard cutting day, which we really intensely cut because our flowers go into the solution in the field, the conditioner in the field, and it has to stay in that for between 4 and 12 hours. And so I'll be going downstairs in a few minutes and making some solution that's the holding solution and moving everything over into those buckets. And you and I had pizza earlier when we were out before we went grocery shopping, and it's just settling funny. But anyway, so the holding solution is what florists use actually to keep their products really, really fresh until they use them. I mean, you don't have like weeks and weeks, but you do have a few days. And so that allows us to just cut heavy 3 days a week instead of we were cutting every day, and that was just becoming exhausting. Plus we were wasting a lot. And yes, we lose some of the flowers when we leave them in the field because they get old on the plant itself, but we're finding they don't get old nearly as quickly if we just leave them on the plant as they would once we've cut them. So that's been part of the learning curve. And we're very glad now to just be backed down to cutting 3 days a week. And we've also started just delivering to our locations that we sell through 2 days a week. And again, the reason for that, when we were picking the flowers up, they last so long. We were picking flowers up out of those holding vases that looked every bit as beautiful and fresh as the ones we were replacing them with. And that is so discouraging. Of course, we have an outlet for those because I was bringing them home and then passing them on to our neighbor who works in Waynesville at a nursing home, and she takes them there, which we still will have plenty, but I think we were overwhelming her with so many bouquets that had not sold. So this will give us some relief and also her some relief, and still provide everybody with plenty. So the 2 days a week are sufficient for, and the reason that I felt like I needed to do it more often is because it's so hot, and the two locations that we sell through, our displays are outside. They're on porches, so they're covered, but just the heat right now in the 90s, it just felt like we needed to refresh them more often than just 2 days a week. But we're finding that the 2 days a week is still very sufficient with the conditioning agents that we use for our flowers. So that has relieved a lot of time. And let me see what else. I think that we're learning to be more effective in the use of our time, and just discerning and what we're doing. But the idea, we have so many flowers, not nearly as many as we will have next year. So we had thought, well, we've really got to find some florists to wholesale through and to. And it's just occurring to me that why, when I love, and I think Chelsea will very much enjoy the creative aspect. She's very much of an artist as well, but I think that she will enjoy the creation of beautiful bouquets and working with event planners and different things like that. I'm not really excited about working with bridal planners, just because if you've ever watched any of the Bridezilla type programming, it can be a little off-putting. But I think that I'll be just selective in who I choose to work with, and that might sound kind of snobby-ish, but no, I'm not going to work with a Bridezilla. I understand that people get emotional and distraught sometimes and anxious as they are planning. There's Papa. You want to say hi, Pop? Come over here and stick your head in the camera. You have to. They can't see you if you can't see them.
We're gonna get beat out of the rain again, looks like.
Well, it sounded like it was getting here a few minutes ago, and then it did just kind of moved on, yeah. But I think he came out to check the storm conditions. I'm still hearing it rumble.
If it'll just move this way.
Yeah, we're wanting a little bit more rain. We had a nice rain last night, but we could use quite a bit more. I don't want a gully washer because we've got brand new little seedlings in the field, and Chelsea and I had to go through this morning and kind of lift a lot of the leaves out of the mud so that they could be free and grow. Either that or they were just plastered to the ground. But so we're hoping that they'll have a chance to actually stand up and grow a little bit before it rains on them again. It's hard. If I could just control the weather, everything would be fine. But going back to the idea of floral work, I think that Chelsea will enjoy it as much as I will. And I know that there'll be, anxiety, and there'll be some stress involved in working with event planners and creating in that way. The thing is that we're going to have a disclaimer letting people know that we can't guarantee anything. And when you're working, well, just like right now with the weather, you never know. And the crazy weather that we've been having, when you're going to have a storm come through and you're going to have hail knock holes in all of your sunflowers, or anything could happen. I'm hoping that won't be something that we'll have to deal with on a regular basis. At least I think everybody deals with it at some point or the other. But whoever we're working with will have to understand that there are no guarantees in this. If something happened that our flowers were decimated, then honestly they would have to go to the wholesaler or to Sam's Club and buy what they have available. So it will be, understood that we will provide the most beautiful stems that we have available, but it will be what we have available. So, it's all again a learning curve for us. Everything is a learning curve these days, and you'd think when you're, 63 years old that some things wouldn't have to be a learning curve anymore. Do y'all feel like that? I don't know. I think that I just live in a learning curve tunnel. And it goes around in a circle. Oh, good gracious, y'all. Well, I'm excited about doing this. I think that working with flowers has actually been something that I've considered off and on for years, honestly. And as a matter of fact, anytime I've gone into a florist studio and just watched them work, and I have a friend that's a florist, but anytime I have been there and watched them work, I've thought, you know, I know that when you're in it every day, like they are, that it probably loses a whole lot of its joy. But if you were working in it as we plan to, when it's more events and weddings and different things like that, and it's not an everyday thing, and preparing, arrangements for funerals or arrangements for whatever. But I think that it will be more enjoyable when it's something that we won't be immersed in every single day. If it ever gets that big, I'm going to have to hire somebody to do the field work for me. What do you think? And I'll just stay in the little room I'm building downstairs in the basement to do all of my arrangements. But I just was excited about this, and I just wanted to share it with y'all and get some feedback from y'all. Now, I know that there's some of you that are going to say you're crazy to be considering one more thing when you're this early in to a brand new business. Um, I don't think so. I mean, we've been looking for different opportunities, um, locations, ways of selling what we're producing, and the florist idea, of course, was the next on the line. Um, but if we're going to sell to florists at wholesale, why not just become florists and retail our product as well as the design fee? Um, it just seems like it would be more financially productive, and in my case, I think it'd be great fun. And I know nothing is great fun forever, but it will be great fun, and we just have to control things to keep it in that lane. But y'all, thanks for being patient with us. I know I've not gotten a lot of videos out, and I don't think about bringing my camera out and setting it up on a tripod and having you guys, if you're interested in watching, while we're cutting and filling buckets full of beautiful flowers, I'll be happy to bring my camera out and set it up and just do that. But I know that that's probably going to be of little interest to most people. Um, we've got just so many things going on in different directions that I forget to ever turn the camera on until after the moment has passed, and I think, oh, you know what? I bet some of my YouTube friends would have enjoyed seeing that, and so um, I do have to start slowing down and thinking about um, putting some of this on video so that those of you that are kind of following along with us and helping us grow this business, you can know what's happening here. And I do appreciate your interest, and I do appreciate that you're following us, and and just that you share your ideas. But anyway, I think we did lose the storm. I haven't heard it thunder again in the last little while, and my wind chimes have stopped tinkling. Oh well, that's okay. I don't know. Now I hear some off in the distance, so maybe it's circling back around. We can always hope. But listen, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And I think that I may put an alarm on my phone on maybe Wednesdays and Sundays, because those seem to be the least busy days for us, and just remind myself to create a video. And for those of you that are interested in what we're doing, I'll try to keep it fresh, but a lot of what we're doing is just repetitive. It's just the same old, same old. I need to take a video of poor George. Y'all, I wish I could find a home for him, because he is absolutely being harangued by not only Chuck, but by Ferdinand. And poor George, he jumps out of the bird lot in the morning to get away from Chuck, and he jumps back in the bird lot at some point to get away from Ferdinand, because both of them are just chasing him and harassing him. And it just seems like on all of the YouTube channels, or on all the YouTube, not YouTube, excuse me, the Facebook groups that I belong to for farming, um, that people are, trying to get rid of roosters. Nobody wants a rooster, and he's a booger. I call him the Intimidator. Those of you that watch know I call him the Intimidator, because he will follow along behind me and I can hear him, and I'll turn around and I'll fuss at him and say, all right, just back off. You're not going to bother me. And he'll back up and turn his head and walk the other way like I wasn't doing anything. So I call him the Intimidator. But as far as Chuck and Ferdinand are concerned, George is not the intimidator. He is the intimidated. And I just truly feel sorry for him. There's times when he's had, blood on his comb and dripping down the side of his little feathers. And I can't protect him. There's nothing that I can do to protect him. Other than when we see one of them chasing after him, we'll go and shoo them away and make them leave him alone. But I'm rarely where they're at. So anyway, if any of y'all all are local and you know a farmer that could handle having a beautiful big buff colored rooster, I would love to pass him along to a wonderful home. And you just can't have two roosters that are the same size in a single location. And Aaron said that Ferdinand, as far as Ferdinand is concerned, anytime that it's mating season, and peacocks get this kind of knot on the back of their head when it's mating season, and they will harass any other male feathery creatures at that time. So, and apparently our hope of getting the baby peacocks or the young peacocks fell through. So I'm just going to have to research online and find some local people that raise peacocks and see if I can find Ferdinand a girlfriend or two, and just try to put the money aside and have that available before fall of the year. That's my goal. But anyway, all right, I've chatted and I've talked your ear off, and I just, like I said earlier, I appreciate y'all and love you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.